July 26, 2010. This is Diehard Gamer Radio Show 93.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go.
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Welcome to Fine Wine and Beer.
So, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio.
It's like on. Oh yeah, it's a game podcast.
Yeah. We're going to be discussing board games today. We're going to start out with Mousetrap and then work our way down to Parcheesi and Balderdash.
And Mystery Mansion.
Hey.
Whatever happened to Rio Grande games? Like Talisman, and I think that's Rio Grande.
I don't know.
Tigris and Euphrates is a lot of fun.
It is?
I love that game.
Okay. Is that based off the Thundercats mythos, or what is that?
Not really.
Okay.
Puerto Rico's pretty good, though.
The country or the board game?
The board game. I've never been to the country.
All right. So we have with us in the podcast, we have Steve.
Steve.
And he's shaking his head, hoping that it's caught by the microphone. We have Brian.
Me.
And John is currently sick. We currently are figuring out how many times he's been sick this year. I've counted like 35.
Need that little soundbite from Clone DVD. Oh no! You know, the burning fails.
He's got the plague.
Yes. So anything we want to share before we start on this thing?
We don't have that kind of time, and the viewers are not paid to be my therapist.
And Nice John's got the plague.
Yes, we've already established that plot point.
I don't know. I thought it was a little fuzzy. Could
Next on DHGR, episode 47, Ryoki. Oh wait.
Yeah, we're almost to 100, dude. Where you been?
Yeah. Yep, and show 100 live from Penthouse Club. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking A. That would be the longest podcast ever.
That podcast would not be would not happen.
Yeah.
There would be.
It would happen in my pants. Oh.
Why are you pointing at your chest when you said it?
Well, he has his pants up very high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you're blind.
All right. So first up, Microsoft cancels 1 versus 100 for Xbox 360, which would be a disappointment
Just
for
move right along. There's nothing.
I don't get. I never understood why this was popular. So
the game show is kind of fun to some extent, but I don't see playing it as being that fun. But
yeah. So next, Cave announces new games: Red Katana, which is a horizontal shmup, and Dodonpachi Daifukatsu on the iPhone, which is Dodonpachi Resurrection.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll actually release
$9
it
or
to
$10, you know it.
Maybe they'll release Dodonpachi Daifukatsu on a real system and not on an iPhone.
I have no arguments with the iPhone. The last game was awesome.
Okay, you do realize that once you install that game and play it, your iPhone's going to increase in temperature by like 50 degrees.
If it's anything like the last one, I fully expect it.
Hold on a second. Will Wheaton is twittering.
Oh, okay. Is he joining in on the podcast?
Yeah.
Right.
You have to know it existed first.
Oh, okay.
If somebody actually advertised Diehard Gamer Radio.
So, what did he tweet on about Diehard Gamer Radio? Does he have a question for the podcast?
I don't know. Let me look.
Can we post something to 4chan
What the hell
and
were
have
you just
them
doing over there when you rolled over there the first time?
Since you have 4chan up, you can say, "Hey, we're running a podcast. Do you have any questions?"
That would be pretty cool to do a live podcast, though. Just
on
do it
4chan?
Do it live on the web through your website, and anybody can listen on the fly.
Well,
and you could actually answer questions. And
they would need to know that a podcast existed.
Well, that's a little thing, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Advertising.
So I know you're interested in the Dodonpachi, Brian. Red Katana, I saw the video of it. Keegan posted 2 videos.
Oh, was
on
that
it.
a live journal?
Yep.
Yeah, damn it, I haven't been there in days.
Oh, it looks good.
Well, come on, it's a cave. It's kind of like, guaranteed at that point.
Yep. And next up, Mega Man Universe announced, which would interest no one, because I think the last Mega Man I played was Mega Man
2.
No, I played 3. I know that. 8?
I was talking about myself.
Oh,
Oh, I haven't played one yet.
so it's like some
2 is a lot better than 1.
Well,
Well, I heard it was 2 times the game.
it was. Well, it
At
did.
least.
It did have an easy mode on it, so that did make it a little. it did make it slightly better in the fact that it wasn't ungodly
slash
hard.
Yes, it was actually you actually could do things like play the game without wanting to die.
That's the monkey flinging poo mode.
So Mega Man Universe, I'm sure, will be some sort of weird 2D sprite-based MMO.
I'm more excited
Meets
about Lego
Hercules.
Universe, honestly.
Is that still a thing? Lego
Yeah.
Universe?
They
Okay.
apparently showed it at E3, so still moving
Is there
along.
going to be like a monthly fee for that?
I have no clue. Maybe you just have to go to like a Kmart and buy a little block set or something. It's like by the end of the universe, you have a whole fucking city in your back room.
Probably not too far from the truth.
Hey, that would be great promo material right there. Send in your proof of purchase of this Lego item. Minimum $9.95 a month.
And ruin the box. So next up, a new Oddworld game is confirmed. So did you like Abe's Odyssey? Well, there's new games coming out.
I liked them, but I never really got into them. I mean, I didn't buy any of them myself. I just always had somebody that I knew that had one, and we'd play it or hang out. But I never bought any of them myself. The artwork was great, though.
I don't think I've ever played any of them.
Really?
They were cute, kind of.
Well, Oddworld.
We're really a horseshit gamer is what it boils down to.
Well, Oddworld is kind of like out of this world. Fade
Same
to
company,
Black.
wasn't it?
Maybe. No, I don't think so. But it's along those lines.
Yeah, same 2D platformer type thing.
Will Wheat wants to tell us all about Nickelodeon in the 80s.
Oh, okay. So ask him.
Gather around the campfire, children.
So ask him about Mysterious Cities of Gold and Ulysses 31, and we'll get back to you.
All right.
Okay. So next up, James Bond games announced. We have Activision announcing a James Bond 007 Bloodstone for PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. And GoldenEye 007, which is Wii Zapper compatible.
They're just not going to let that game die on the Nintendo.
Well, it's going to be completely different than the N64 version, so I'm sure
Do you
there's a
still
couple...
get to be the Pierce Brosnan Bond?
No, it's the Daniel Craig Bond, as far
It's
as I
not
know.
really GoldenEye.
Well,
then, is it?
I know that,
Like
but
saying, well, we took Timothy Dalton, we put him in Goldfinger.
What the fuck?
So for those who like playing a new version of GoldenEye that doesn't have Pierce Brosnan in it,
Pierce Brosnan, GTFO.
yep. So any interest in this, by the way? Do you have any interest in the James Bond games?
I don't have a Wii.
Well, you do have a Wii, but not the game system.
Correct. How do you know? I could be the best reverse trap you've ever seen.
It's a trap.
Well, thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. As always, you can... that was an image that...
Mangina!
that sounds like a wrestler's name.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
Mangina's in the squared circle.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a,
you see, it was okay until he dropped his tranny.
It's a luchador name.
It is El Mangina. He has his own talk show on Telemundo.
Yes.
Ay, caramba. Ay, naranjas.
Ay, no es bueno. So next up, Kmart to get user-submitted game reviews on store shelves, which sounds like a really bad idea.
This is going to get funny, man.
So
It's going to
starting
get uglier before it gets worse. I mean, what?
So starting last week, Kmart started combing through reviews of games written on their store's website by visitors, looking for descriptive snippets to print on small cards and display under the game in question on the shelves of more than 1,300 stores. So if you like your reviews at a Kmart that says this game is to suck,
I'm going to send one in for Metal Gear Solid that
gay
says...
suck.
oh, to gay suck,
I'm
yeah.
going to send one in for Metal Gear Solid that says, why are these motherfucking snakes on my motherfucking game? See what happens.
I'm just surprised by how this game is.
Use your word, Servo.
I'm surprised.
Take your time.
I'm surprised by the fact that there's people actually putting down comments on Kmart's website about video games.
Yeah, I call shenanigans.
Well, the
Does
fact
this actually happen?
I don't know. I haven't. I
I didn't know they had a website.
I didn't know they had a website. I didn't know they sold video games anymore. Thought it was all like domestics.
They still sell video games, but I thought it was like Costco, where they just got all the bad shit in groups and they had to sell it out at like.
I figured it was. I figured
like
their whole
Big Lots.
Yeah. I figured that their whole thing was basically the intro to Are You Being Served?
No, I think I'd still go to.
I thought that was their department.
I think I'd still go to Big Lots before Kmart because.
Oh, we go into Kmart and there's like a big British guy. Are you being served?
There's the entrance to all Kmart's are one elevator that leads to the entire floor, and some British woman in some lounge music starts telling you every department
She's
that they
got
have.
a pink streak of hair on one side.
Yeah,
And it's in black and white.
and they sell hats.
It's a haberdasher.
It's a haberdashery.
So
Come on, sing it. You know how it goes.
ground floor peculiar stationery and leather goods, lace and haberdashery, kitchenware and clothes going up.
Yeah.
Should have hit the easy button.
They don't show that as much anymore.
Well,
I haven't seen that on.
that's
forever.
because you complained too much that you didn't like it.
I liked it a hell of a lot more than Last of the Summer Wine.
Okay, again with the last of the summer
It's
wine.
awful.
Okay, next up,
Look
last
what
of
happened. He got driven to the lifetime.
Oh my
channel.
god. Last of the Summer Wine coming out on the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
You spend 90 hours doing nothing.
You're a Frenchman complaining about how your grapes did not grow.
No, that was Allo Allo.
Hello.
No, that was during the World War II. It was the
that
French
was-
Revolutionary.
Why are all these damn Nazis in my hedgerows? Was
Yeah.
the World War II.
So
Hey, who didn't love Maurice? Come on.
so next up on Dad's Army.
He was a total playboy.
Baba Black Sheep.
Yeah. Do we have any more British comedies that we want to add?
Baba
in?
Black Sheep isn't a British comedy.
Oh, what was a hotel one that had what's his name from
That's
Monty Python?
Faulty Towers or whatever.
Yeah, Faulty Towers with John Cleese. So, which was the longest running British sitcom of all time, running 6 episodes. So,
Churchill.
EastEnders came in a little bit after with about a
Yeah, but-
million.
yeah, but EastEnders isn't a comedy.
Well, it tries to be.
So, next up on a very special episode of Coronation Street. So,
It's got that one with Dame Judi Dench and the other guy, the older guy. What the hell is that show called? I can't remember.
Before I had a career.
Top Gear.
No.
I don't know.
What I thought was really funny is that guy and Judi Dench were also in both. I think it was both GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies together.
yeah.
He was
I know
the
what you're talking
admiral.
about.
He was an admiral, and she was, she's and I was like, "What? He need a job?
Yeah,
What was the deal there?"
it's like a Kevin Smith thing. He just pulls all his friends in.
He's like, Judi Dench got the job, and he's like, "I know somebody perfect for this role. I've worked with him before."
yeah, I have proof.
So anyway, we will do some future research on this and find out if Kmart actually has a website.
Yeah.
So next,
Or not.
So next up, Square Enix confirms Tactics Ogre PSP, which is awesome if you want to play a really, 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 really long strategy role play.
Well, they got the right idea because that's the kind of shit that you play on a PSP. You're sitting on a bus for an hour or something.
Yeah, but literally, like, no kidding, Tactics Ogre will take you the rest of your life to beat.
There's
it's
no
a
you
long
can't-
fucking game.
You
There's
can't
no
play
doubt
that on
there.
a bus because one turn will take longer than any bus ride could ever happen. It's like I took a bus ride and it went like 140 miles and I was still almost done with my turn.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yeah.
It's not too far from the truth. So, Xbox 360 4GB bundle for $199 coming out on August 3rd. My comment is not sure what you can do with 4GB.
Yeah, well, you can buy like 3 Xbox Live Arcade games.
You sure about that?
Okay,
3?
maybe 2.
Yeah, because doesn't your
Ah.
profile take up some space?
I don't know.
That's kind of sad. It's just like the old like 3.1 operating system where your setup took up like 5%.
You know,
is this replacing the arcade bundle?
Yes.
What was
That
the
was the
old
whole point of
arcade?
it.
The old arcade had like some internal memory
was like
too. What was it?
512.
It was 256, I think.
Was it-
no,
so
no,
it's-
the card was 256. The internal became 512 later, but that was like $150. So now they've jacked it up by like another $50 and
three
charge
here.
it for 4 gigs,
Eh.
which is not
Well,
a good deal. But
It's pretty normal for giving you extra memory in your appliance device, Apple.
So, how's Apple's Pippin coming along?
Eh.
So,
oh, you got iTunes on your thing set up on there
On what?
on your Mac?
Yeah,
Because I
that
was
comes with it.
talking to a couple of friends yesterday, and one of my friends updated his iPhone on his PC, and it
Yeah.
bricked it. But the other one did it on the Mac perfectly fine.
It doesn't matter. I updated mine to 4 whatever on my Windows 7 box. Worked fine. It's probably because most of the time when those things get bricked, it's because somebody was fucking around with jailbreaking it. And if they have a half-done jailbreak or something like that,
No,
then
this
it
guy
breaks
hadn't
it.
done anything.
But it
to
doesn't
he had
really
no
break
reason
it.
to. It's
If he
just-
brings it to the iPhone
No, he
store,
just had to completely reformat it, and it was fine.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it bricked
yeah.
everything he had set up. It was just
well,
kind of
yeah.
funny.
That's why you have backups on iTunes. So
by the way, that ruling came out. So, I guess it's somewhat legal to jailbreak your phone now.
yeah, but Apple still doesn't have to support it if you jailbreak it.
Oh, true.
Well, he kind
so-
of voids a warranty anyways, right? I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, you can unjailbreak a phone, but if there's something wrong with it, it's physically wrong with it, you're gonna have to reformat it to the normal thing before you bring it into AppleCare or
Yeah.
whatever. So
so it looks like
it
was
wasn't
just
like anybody was
natural.
going after people who were actually jailbreaking their phones, but it makes it so that they can't sue the people that make the jailbreaking software.
Mm.
So it's the same thing with what was the other thing? The DVD CSS circumvent
Yeah.
stuff. Now basically, it's you can't sue people that make stuff that circumvents the CSS because
Like,
it's legal to.
any DVD.
Well, you still can't copy the whole DVD. You can only use small snippets that were already covered under fair use for purposes of commentary and criticism, which we've always been able to do. But the DMCA made the implementation of it for DVDs murky because it outlawed the circumventing of it. But yes, you still can't copy the whole DVD just because you now can pull out some snippets of it. Nor can you make many 30-second clips of it, put it on YouTube, and say it doesn't circumvent. Which was actual questions on Ars Technica about this.
That's probably where it would end up, I imagine. Yeah.
So, how brain damaged were you after you read that?
Oh,
thread?
anytime there's anything to do with copyright on technology site, it's fucking facepalm city. Because there's a million people that have no idea what copyright actually lets you and does not
Until
let
the
you do
lawyer
it.
gets on and explains it.
Well, anybody who's spent enough time to actually look at it and go, what does fair use actually mean? Well, it's a little bit confusing, but more or less it's this. What it is not is, well, I can do anything I want. That's not what it is.
That's Southern fair use.
So, Steve Walsh is also a lawyer. So,
Yeah.
if you need any intellectual property or copyright law advice, please.
Apparently, Emma was saying that she first heard of this decision on the Anime Con's mail list, email list serve. And the first thing I always think of when she tells me about that thing is, people still have listservs? Major Domo still runs things? But then the next thing was that apparently people have very strong opinions on anime music videos. Like, very strong opinions on whether or not they're any good or illegal or legal.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's like a really strange thing to have very strong opinions on,
Yeah, you gotta have a hobby.
I guess.
Yeah. So next up.
Those are also, by the way, still technically infringing.
Okay.
So
FYI.
I don't know anybody that's going after anybody for,
Doing.
Although it's interesting that,
Good publicity.
well, it's odd. I mean, it's still odd though that that nobody's ever sent. Well, they have sent, but it's weird that there's no coalition that's ever told animemusicvideos.org or .com or whichever it is to pull down all their infringing content, because they've got something on a couple tens of thousands of anime music videos. every
I
single
don't
one
think
of which
it's
is
that
infringing.
harmful. I think it's more a publicity thing. It's like,
Well,
hey, it's circulating on the web and pushing
and
our music.
people make that
videos.
argument. That's all well and good, but not everybody agrees with that, and a lot of those people are people that own that content. So it's weird that it hasn't been, that it actually hasn't
It's a
happened
music
in
video.
amount.
It's not your whole half hour.
Well,
show
I
or
mean,
whatever,
the people that own the music for the music video also. It's bizarre that they haven't sued for it either.
I'll grant you that, but
So
It's just weird. It's like this big, really well-known site that nobody's like going crazy about. So
basically, the next time you do your music videos, it'll have to be off public domain music from the 1920s.
it's public domain anime.
it's gonna be like the girl from Ipanema on 12 videos.
You can only use shoddily comic animated cells from Mega Tokyo for your anime music videos.
Be like Fallout 3, the anime music video.
It'd be like a Blamimation, except it'd be just like cells from Mega Tokyo, which I'm sure has happened actually.
I'm sure it has. So next up, Xbox 360. Wait, that was the one I just did.
Damn it!
World of Warcraft can boost your career. Forbes reports that although video games have long been thought as distractions to work and education rather than aids, not those types of aids, the other types of aids, there is a growing school of thought that says game playing in moderation and in your free time can make you more successful in your career. We are finding that younger people coming into teams who have had experience playing online games are the highest level performers because they are constantly motivated to seek out the next challenge and grab onto the performance metrics.
Yeah,
Focus, dedication. These are core values.
Yeah, only one thing. You don't get achievement points for going the bullshit metrics that your boss gives you.
Oh, man, but if you had achievements at work, fucking A. I'm talking about productivity through the roof.
Or not productivity, slacked off for 1 hour, bing, achievement unlocked.
And the weird thing is that, and there's some truth to that because a lot of these horseshit managers, which are 90% of managers in the world, they don't understand the productivity you can get out of people by giving them almost like totally pointless rewards for getting things. Like you can give people stuff that like doesn't cost anything, and they'll still work harder to get it.
Good. Well, you're setting a goal for them. That's all. In the end, that's all.
But you can set a horseshit goal for them, and they'll still work hard. And you're like,
well, it's a point that it's a goal. It doesn't really matter what it is.
For some reason, this doesn't work on IT people. I don't know what it is, but unless the goal is beer, then it's like something. But then they'll find a way to hack into the beer and get the beer before they've even gotten the project done. It's like I've hidden the beers somewhere in this. So I've hidden it somewhere in the building, and since the IT guys frequently have master keys so they can enter network closets, they just start looking in all the closets to find.
By the time he comes to give out the beer, it's gone.
Yeah, it's all gone. The manager keeps it in
there.
their office, and so the manager go home and they open up the manager's office and go get the beer. And
So, Steve, tell us about your management techniques.
actually, my manager is actually pretty cool, but that's because she wasn't my manager to start with.
And is she cute?
She's pretty milfy.
So,
hopefully she doesn't listen to this podcast.
She the one you bought the couches from?
dear Steve's manager, please go to HR.
It really depends on what she wears too, because she's like that weird sort of dark redhead type thing.
Yeah.
It like some
burnt.
Yeah, some of them don't. Some of her outfits don't really look all that great, but some of them you're like, it's not like they're revealing. They just like the colors coordination works out really well.
Everybody has a color.
Welcome to the Diehard Gamer Fashion Radio.
If I've learned anything from Vogue. Sorry, what?
I learned anything
wait,
from
what?
Vogue. It's not very good fat material.
I'm thinking you're a summer. You're kind of warm.
I am. I don't even know what that means.
I'm kind of warm because I got the AC turned down. But anyway,
No,
turned up.
you're
turned down.
warm because it's your winning personality.
Yes, we'll go with that.
All right.
Sounds plausible.
I think it's a summer ale, really.
You get away with it in court.
You're a summer because you drink summer ale, so you're a winter because you drink winter ale.
I
Is that
didn't
how
know initially, but this is actually a wheat beer.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Let's hope you're not gluten intolerant.
I'm not. I love wheat beers, actually. They're
Okay.
much smoother than the barley beers.
So all they need now is a cheese beer, and you'll be set.
And you eat it with cheese.
Oh, okay.
I haven't
everything
been to
goes
the cheese
together
store in a
with
long
cheese.
time. Anyway, move on here, Mr. Moderator.
Spore-inspired action RPG Darkspore announced. Remember when Spore was a thing?
Yeah, I found it in my fridge. I left
Yeah.
that cheese in there.
Remember when Spore was a thing until people played it and said, "What the hell?"
I don't think that was their word. I think it was more like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, remember when Spore was a totally different game than it ended up being?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Remember when people were looking forward to Spore?
People
Yeah, that
were-
was like a
there
year
were-
before it
There
came
were
out.
people diehard, looking forward to Spore until release day, and then they put it in their drive and they played it for an hour and said, "What the fuck?"
So this was when Mike and I were working at EB. This is what we called the barking flop. A lot of people would bark for it, and then when it finally came out, the game would flop.
Yep.
So, and if you look up barking flop on Google image search, that may not be what you get.
Hmm.
So next up,
I don't even know.
don't search it.
Don't
Alice.
start none, won't be none.
Alice Madness Returns, sequel to American McGee's Alice, which I don't know if that interests any of you.
I meant to try this out and I never did,
I
but
never
I
got
heard
around to
good
playing
things
this one.
about it. I heard it was just really creative and unique, but
Though, like 95% of games are, I meant to pick it up and I never got around to it.
well, that's because
Ah.
there's so damn many of them out there.
Yeah, well,
I've got even the ones I've picked up, I still haven't played.
comic kind of gets the way too. It's like, well, I spent let's see, what is it? I spent about 20 hours this week working on comics and didn't really get around. I didn't get even 3 hours of Fallout 3 in last week.
I got an hour of Stalker Chernobyl in yesterday. That was
Playing that game.
I was capturing Voltron in the Fleet of Doom for the MST that we're doing for NDK.
No. What
so
video game were you playing?
Video game.
Um,
Video game.
Hello.
I didn't play anything last week.
That's
It's actually been a week since I've played something.
Wow.
Literally.
What's wrong with you? You have an
Well,
iPhone. You should be able to play.
I don't have an iPhone.
You
That's
have an
fine.
iPhone?
No. Why would I have an iPhone?
Well, get yourself a smartphone, and then you
Why?
don't have anything to.
Because
I-
your
I-
phone is dumb.
Because
Okay,
you
oh,
could
okay.
game any play time you wanted to.
Okay, first of all, I work for a major telecom.
And
I get
So the phone should be easier.
so
to
you
get.
should be able to get a cheaper phone for a
Okay.
cheaper, nicer phone.
okay. I pay $10 a month for my phone service. I think that's a good price for me. I don't
for
need
a dumb phone.
I don't need the datas. I don't need the.
But
I don't
it's a
think
you could play,
non-smart
but you could
phone.
play. You could play games on it then.
I could if
And
I
then
want to
you went
spend
to ban a
$90 a
week.
month on a data plan.
Somebody's not tweeting Mike J. Nelson here. Hello.
Yeah.
Non-smartphone.
Non-smartphone. You should be ashamed.
Anti-smart.
Don't you follow
Anti-pasta.
Michael J. Nelson on Twitter?
I do.
Well, there you go.
Have you learned nothing?
You've learned nothing from Mr. J. Nelson.
I've learned a lot. If I
You
want
learned
to
the
check,
man is a feeling creature.
if I need
He
to
learned to tell us all when he cries.
Next up, Guitar Hero.
I'm so sorry.
All right. I'm not paying for that song. So, Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock has Rush's 7-part 2112 suite. I don't know what that is.
Well, you typed it, motherfucker. You better know.
Well, I figured that Steve's the music person, so
I don't really like Rush. I'm like the one
Yeah.
rock guy in the world.
That
who's
Tom
not
Sawyer
really...
song is all I can stand. The rest of it I could care less
Well,
about.
I mean, they're so self-satisfied whenever they. I mean,
You mean like REM?
They kind
kinda,
of like
sorta.
remind me of Boston. It's just you hear 3 or 4 songs and they all
Well,
sound the same.
but I can stand Boston for longer than I can.
Yeah,
REM.
definitely. But point being though, that they just you listen to too much of it and you're like, wow, this is just all starting to sound the same. It's just meshing together.
I just
Didn't
Or
like
Rush.
Rock Band or Guitar Hero come out with like a Green Day or something
was
like
Rock
yes,
that?
Band.
that was. I couldn't believe they came out with their old like the whole feature of Green Day.
I
Like,
can't
this
believe they
is-
centered the entire game around Green Bay. I think they're really reaching for the youngsters because I have no.
I don't know.
Fucking
The
interest in
youngsters
Green
aren't
Day at
so.
all.
Green Day is very much like an older 20s band, like now, because like they.
Well, yeah, okay, more like hipsters at this point.
Yeah, like newer yuppies too. Because a lot of those, a lot of the kids that Green Day was the type of band that was out when they grew up was, Green Day was popular when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So
So doesn't interest any of you.
Uh,
So next up, Microsoft killed plans for PC versus Xbox 360 online play.
Yeah,
What?
So this was due to Microsoft doing tests and determining that PC gamers mercilessly own console gamers and determined that it wouldn't be fun. Or at least
Thank
for the
you.
console
At
Good
least
gamers.
for
night,
the console
Seattle. There will
gamers.
be no encore.
When I saw this on Ars Technica, the War Garble was epic.
It was crazy.
It was epic.
It was
Invigorated.
it was pretty funny. They're like basically they did all the testing for it, and they're like going, it was so lopsided we couldn't possibly put it on because the console gamers would never want to play against the PC gamers.
Thank you.
And here's
Suck it long and suck it hard, Mr. Walker.
and here's the thing. I'm predominantly a console gamer, but I actually agree with this. I believe that the
you know what the
PC
solution to this thing was? It's for Microsoft to put out a keyboard and mouse for the 360.
Actually, that was discussed, and the reason why they didn't do that was because not all gamers would buy a keyboard and a mouse.
Yeah, but the
Well, they
FPS
would
players
just
that wanted to play against
lose.
the PC gamers would.
Yeah. You mean wanted to be able to compete with the PC
Yeah.
gamers?
Yep. Pretty much.
So there was epic War Garble on
I'm sure
Ars
it was.
Technica,
Were
and
you there when I played Halo over at Jerse's house?
Yes,
They did the 4-on-4, and I brought the Smart Joy
yeah.
adapter, and I plugged in my keyboard, my mouse. It took me like 2 games to get the hang of it, and then I spanked the motherfuckers for about 3 or 4 rounds. I'm like, what? And fucking
All right.
Walker didn't say a thing.
Okay, now. I mean, I agree. Keyboard and
What I'm
mouse
saying,
is the
though, it just,
superior.
it can't keep, yeah.
Yeah, it's a superior control method for FPSs. Not so much for like Super Mario Brothers. Okay, I understand that.
Well, there's a lot of games that I wouldn't want. I'm like,
Yeah, you
even
just-
games
yeah.
like GTA and like Assassin's Creed and stuff. It doesn't feel right playing them on a PC.
No. Well, that's
Because-
when you go get that little wireless
you gotta get the
deal
control,
with a
but, you know-
360 controller. That's the only
Or just
hope,
plug
because
in
you just
your
don't play
normal
that
It's
on-
360
weird. There's some of
controller.
those games that just don't. I don't like playing them in front of an actual computer. I want to sit down on the couch and have a big ass TV. And I
Well,
want
they were also designed with the controller in mind. They
Yeah,
weren't designed
yeah.
for a keyboard and a mouse, so that's understandable. It goes one way or the other.
that, and they usually don't do lame ass DRM schemes on
They're-
those games on the
Yeah,
Xbox.
well, you could put it in the game and actually fucking play it.
Yeah. Or you don't have to be online to save the game,
Yeah,
like in what was that GTA 4?
I thought that was Assassin's Creed.
Kennedy was complaining about GTA 4 about how he had to be online to
Kennedy?
save the game. Yeah, he wanted to play. I'm sure he got it off a sale on Steam or something.
Yeah, that makes sense if it was a Steam game.
So
I missed that whole. By the way, I missed that whole sale that Summer is Dangerous sale that had all those ridiculous things.
You know what pissed me off? I downloaded, and I still got to email the fuckers. I downloaded Active War 1 and 2, and came to find out they don't work with Windows 7 64-bit. Wasn't fucking advertised anywhere. Just doesn't work.
I don't know why they would
there's
want to
$10
do
I
any
want
things
back.
that don't work on 64-bit Windows because it's
It's
like
probably why they were
becoming
on
the
sale.
well, it's becoming like the default now. It's very few. There's very
no
few
excuse to go to 32 anymore. I mean,
Yeah, there's very few like machines that you buy like from OEM manufacturers that don't have 64-bit Windows 7 on them.
yeah,
So
it's an older game.
yeah,
So next up, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade has 2 extra character slots. So now we can start, figuring out, well, who could these characters be? Who might it be?
strangely enough, you'll find out when they tell you.
Well, or
Kinda
you can
blows
just
the whole mystery of it, but
yeah,
well,
or,
there it is.
or you can just start guessing stuff by random. That always works.
But I find that talking with 14-year-olds is kind of taxing.
It is, unless you're trying to go out with them. Oh! Sorry.
Like
This is why you get off
right
your
over there,
Xbox.
Mr. Murdock.
Which is why you get off the Xbox and you go to the big boys and play on the
Oh, I thought
PC.
maybe the playground you were saying or something.
You gotta stop.
Get off that Xbox and get to the playground,
Stop
Mr.
playing.
Murdock.
Mr.
Stop.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
Stop playing with the kids and start playing with the big boys. Amiga Workbench 1.3.
Mm-hmm. Geos.
Speaking of gay,
Again with the Geos.
I like Geos. That was
I-
my first point-and-click operating system.
Really?
oh, the memories.
I didn't have I didn't have enough money to have a Macintosh. What are you talking about? Only the school had Macintoshes.
What was your first point and click system?
Mm.
You're gonna name an ex-girlfriend, aren't you?
That was Katie.
It's point and stick. What am I talking about?
Oh!
Hi-yo! Good night. Tip your waitress.
Try the fish.
Yeah.
Do we have a drum set
Jeez.
here? We could just do the ba-doom.
I think it was a Commodore.
Really?
Must have been Gios then.
Could have been.
Gios was the only point and click on a Commodore 64 or 128.
So,
Unless you were using an Amiga, and then it was Amigo as blah, 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 blah.
yep. So, next up.
I did use, however, DOS Shell was technically a point and click too.
I see.
DOS Shell was pretty damn cool at the time. You didn't have to copy every single file by typing it out. You could select them all and copy them with a pointer.
Of course, down goes your typing skills, but hey.
No, there's still plenty of typing to do.
Yeah. This is DOS we're talking about.
And you can't run games out of DOS Shell. It
I
used
don't
up too
miss
much memory.
programming in DOS. That was such a bitch.
You were using up too much conventional memory, and so you had to kill DOS Shell before you ran it, because otherwise you were below the special 610K of RAM that you needed to run the game.
Oh, God. That was so much memory back in the day.
Remember when that was a lot?
Remember when you had to remember where HiMem was?
Yeah. Remember when you had to program games on a VIC-20 with peek and poke commands?
Yeah, I wanna play MechWarrior 2. I'm gonna have to insert my boot disk in order to only load the things that I need.
I remember buying Sierra games that were 7 discs long.
No, you mean like was
And that
it
was the 5 1/4. If you got the 3 1/2, it was like 12.
was that like Phantasmagoria, Puzzle of Flesh?
I was
That was
thinking
like
of,
the
first-
Leisure Suit Larry 2 and
Well, there was
what was the shmup one that was moving forward?
Thegster, Sylphied.
No, Sylphied. God,
Yeah,
that had a
Sylphied
lot
was
of fucking
Thegster.
discs,
Thegster was
too.
Sylphied. Same game.
Was it done by the Bitmap brothers?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
I remember that they both had cool sound tracks though.
I remember Sylphied had 6 different planes you moved the ship on.
Yeah.
So,
man.
welcome back to here are the systems that we played Turrican on.
Well, you had to make your boot disk so that certain drivers loaded above the 640K. So you had
Yeah, good times.
No, they weren't.
I know.
No, there's nothing good
It's like
about that.
I paid $60 for this game, and god damn it, I know I have more RAM than that.
No, you don't.
Your
I have
computer
1 mega
says
RAM. It just doesn't want to load into that top 384.
Yep, and now we've got like 1 mega RAM just floating in the air. We just breathe it, and we've got like RAM in our nose.
Well, shit, it's almost a meg for a blank Word document now.
So next up, Capcom announces Street Fighter versus it's actually Street Fighter X Tekken and Street Fighter Third Strike Online.
Third Strike Online? Why are they bringing that back?
Because Third Strike is probably the best.
I mean, it's a great game, but I mean, now 4 is out. Why would you bounce back to 3?
Because it's an awesome game and it would be awesome to play it online. So I've been told.
Well, you think they're just going through that retro revolution like with Marvel versus Capcom 2? And
Yeah, but I mean, that sold like...
They might have had a better experience testing it working online versus something
3
newer.
I'm sure would play better than 4. I mean, online. It's probably an easier thing to
Yeah.
do.
3, the animation's probably going to be the biggest thing.
Well,
Is that
they can
there's
cut
so
a
many
few
frames of
frames out, though. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of frames in there, so they can definitely cut up like every 5th or 6th frame and still get away
That'll
with it.
piss out the competitive gamers.
Yeah.
What? That frame I usually key on is gone.
Yeah. The purists will start that Shoryuken
Sort of learn
forum
and
thread,
evolve.
and then you'll never hear the end of it.
You'll never hear the head of the 4th frame is gone, and now I can't do my counters correctly.
Suck it up and move on, Junior.
No, that'll never happen. Capcom will eventually cave, and it's like, okay, here's your extra frame.
Yeah, we took out one
Bitch.
frame to put that keyframe in for you bastards. Of course, that makes it the same number of frames as it was before, but here you go.
By the way, the saddest existence as a fighting game fan is the person who memorizes frame data.
Yeah.
Is that I'm like, seriously, get a girlfriend.
Yep.
So, I know Street Fighter
Or
X
Hacker
Tekken.
Gibson or something. Jesus.
Well,
What?
I mean, the really hyper competitive, side-scrolling fighter guys. They it's like a
memorize
life-
frame
it's a
data.
lifestyle.
Oh yeah, I've met a couple that the little last convention at the Tivoli for the
Oh,
versus-
the cutthroat.
Yeah. One dude literally had just gotten King of Fighters that morning, and he must have played it for hours in the practice mode, trying to master combinations. I was just like, wow. Like,
that takes dedication.
Jesus,
And
yeah.
what were we doing? We're probably sleeping.
Yeah.
I slept until I got there, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Played a few rounds with them, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, you've been playing way too much of this.
So the Street Fighter X Tekken looks pretty good, though.
Yeah, that looks really good. It's cool that the Tekken characters look so good in the new Street Fighter 4 animation.
We just hope the game will be good. We'll know in 2 years.
If that demo is anything, if it says anything about what the direction they're going, it's going to look great.
It looked neat.
I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with Tekken versus Street Fighter.
Oh, when they do it the other way around?
Yeah.
Well, probably other characters will be cheesy. A la Tekken style.
Mm-hmm.
So, ASF Hitman 5. There are also 5 of these. So, I don't know if anyone has any interest in the Hitman series.
I saw.
I've been meaning to watch the movie, but I just don't have time.
I was about to say, I saw part of the movie on some cable channel 2 weeks ago.
I'm so
He's
sorry.
such a cool actor, but I just doesn't.
Oh my god!
I don't peg him for doing something like that.
No. The movie, the cinematography is pretty cool for an action sequence or action film, but the acting is so bad in that movie.
Yeah, it's
so bad. I mean, there's scenes where you're like, really? Because you didn't want to retry that scene because that was obviously the first take.
I got a feeling that he kind of got roped into that, or he signed up and then realized maybe it wasn't the best thing for him, and it was just too late. He had to ride the wave.
I think the secret sauce that was missing was emotional delivery. Like, I have to read this, really?
Such a little thing, but it means so much.
I saw part of The Legend of Chun-Li. Oh, man. That was sad.
Definitely not a legend.
Oh, no. Not at all. And
it's rare that I'll turn off a movie because the dialogue is bad. I turned off Hitman.
Wow.
So,
and this is the guy that sat through Shaolin Dolomite, so,
I love Shaolin.
Would you buy a video game that was based off Shaolin Dolomite?
You're damn straight I would. If I could play as Davy Crockett, I would totally.
So if they came up with an avatar item that was like a Davy Crockett cap, you would buy that?
No. If I could make my avatar with a Davy Crockett cap and a wushu sword and like a little Shaolin sash and outfit, oh yeah, I would pay money for that.
No, is that going to be
it's on.
No, is that going to be your cosplay costume in NDK?
That would be
pretty awesome.
That would be a funny costume because can you imagine if somebody recognized who I was? That would be the awesomest thing in the.
That's like that really,
ever.
really, really, really rare MST joke.
Yeah, it's like a really
holy reach.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it'd be so bizarre. You'd find like the one other person in the Western United States,
Davy Crockett,
who knows about Shaolin Davy Crockett.
He'd be that kind of guy that you go up to with a code name and say, "He learned a little trait that man was," and then he finishes with a feeling creature. It's like,
yeah, that would be bizarre. That'd be funny as hell.
So we know what you're doing for NDK.
That would be pretty funny.
I think it'd just be more interesting in the general sense that nobody would know what it was, and you'd have all these kids coming up to you like, "What anime is that from?"
It's Naruto. It's an episode you haven't seen.
You haven't seen yet.
Go to Japanese episode.
Go to Crunchyroll.
No, yeah, it's over on anontalk.com. Just go there. You don't need a proxy server. You'll be fine.
You have to go over to 2chan.
Half the chan that it should be.
All right, so
learn Japanese to find one of the 5 million boards on that board.
There is an English version of the menu.
Yeah, there's still 5 million boards to that site.
Yeah, there are.
There's a lot. There's scrolling forever, and you're like, what?
Yeah, there's like 8 boards that are random.
Yeah.
So, next up, Care or Don't Care, our yearly feature on stuff that we either care or don't care on.
Yearly?
And we start off with DC Universe Online. Do we actually care about this game? Or?
I loved this game when it was called City of Heroes.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, I was watching video of this on my iPhone, and I was like, this could be great for about 10 minutes, but it's going down the same road that Star Trek Online did, and it's going to be half as much fun as probably World of Warcraft, although I haven't played it, but it looks like a very poor version of that.
Are they actually doing this for consoles and Xbox, like they alleged
that they were going to do? I don't know.
That was like
I don't know.
That was that's what they were allegedly going to do.
It's
They've
probably gonna end up
allegedly
PC
done this like
first.
17 times,
Yeah,
but
it'll be PC first, if anything.
So don't care.
well, don't care because I played City of Heroes was really great when it came out
It's
5 years
too
ago.
little, too late. They should have jumped on the wagon earlier.
Well,
I don't
shit,
think
they
it's gonna be
announced
that
this game
excited.
what, like 3 years ago now?
Exactly.
Something like that.
And me,
It's like you know what? Companies and publishers and studios need to start learning to announce MMO titles only when they're like 2 years into development.
Yeah, when they're like
Because-
70 or 80% done.
Yeah, because nobody cares about you announcing an MMO game that's going to be done in 3 years. You know, they're going to forget about it, and then people are like, "Oh, we're putting it out," and you're like, "Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that game."
And I'm now playing
Hu-
something
Huck-
else.
Huxley and Jumpgate Evolution we submit as exhibits 1 and 2.
At least Huxley had the good sense to not show up anywhere. But man, fucking Jumpgate Evolution. I mean, talk about a game that's cried wolf so many times that I don't care anymore. It's gonna be like Auto Assault. It's gonna get released and nobody's gonna know it released, and then you're
3
gonna
months
see
later, it drops off
yeah,
the
you're gonna
radar.
see an announcement that says,
Servers are closing.
yeah, servers are closing, and you're like, what? I didn't even know that game came out.
and then you're like, shit, back to Aeon.
Fuck, man.
So next up, Spider-Man: Shattered Dimensions. Any interest in the Spider-Man games?
I don't know anything about it.
I've played Spider-Man since the first one that came out. It
No,
was a lot of fun.
are we
It was
talking
really
in the
cool, but-
arcade?
No, it was
There was
Not-
that other Spider-Man. It came for
PS2
Xbox. didn't it?
or Xbox.
It came for Xbox.
It was like a better version of Bionic Commando.
It had a good
No, it
mechanic
was-
for swinging.
Yeah, it really. The fighting was kind of cool too, but I don't know. I got halfway through the game and I just kind of got bored. But I don't know. And Josh swears by the second one. He said that was a great game too, though.
Yeah, but Josh likes pretty much any type of superhero game.
He's kind of picky though. I mean, he's good about fighters and stuff too. So he's really got to get into it, and it's got to be fun to play, and keep him busy. So
And last but not least, we have Dead Rising 2.
I got to get around to playing the first one.
I got to finish the first.
I've seen so many.
I've
I've
dropped
like
like 2 hours on it, and that was it.
I've watched like a ton of people play Dead Rising, but I myself have never played it. Like I've never picked up the controller while it was on the screen. So I know a lot about Dead Rising 1 and have never played it.
Is
do
it
gotta
something
say
you
that
want to
two,
play, though?
I've seen it on discount shelves all the time, and I never pick it up. So apparently not.
The limited edition for 2 looks pretty cool, though. A lot of fun stuff that come with it.
I saw a guy on Ars Technica saying he was going to trade a bunch of games in and to buy a couple of things and Gears of War 3. Like
Really?
Can you clue me in on where you're getting that? Because I'm
He's
pretty
not getting
sure.
it until April of next
Yeah.
year, that's for sure.
Pretty sure that you're
Apparently
going
you
to
didn't
be
get
the
that
only
memo
one.
about the extension from October till April.
Yeah.
He's special friends with Cliff Belinsky, and he's got like connections and stuff.
He's gonna drop the new iPhone off in a bar somewhere. And,
They had that thing about voting whether when the one guy's going to live or die in the next one. Did you see that?
Carmine.
Carmine, they're voted. You can vote on
Come
whether or
on,
not
Carmine's
he
a
dies.
cool character. He's like the A-Train. Come on.
No, because A-Train lives through both the games. Like Carmine has died in every game so far. They're all like brothers.
Wait, you're right. Carmine was the newbie. Yeah,
dude, they need-
I can see him dying.
He
Dude, they
fell
need-
out of the helicopter on the
Yeah.
first one or in the second one or something.
Dude, they
Yep.
need to like vote as to whether fucking Dom is in there or not.
Yeah, they should vote on whether or not
I
Dom
was thinking, I
dies.
was confusing Carmine with the blonde-haired guy who was cracking all the sarcastic shit throughout the game. He was pretty funny.
Dom just that'd be the treat for the fans. Would for Dom to die in the third one.
He kind of almost needs to now because he lost Maria in the
Yeah, he needs to finish his tragic
Yes,
his
he's on the
tragic-
downhill spiral there. So
his tragic character arc.
I'm sure there was a lot of emotion behind that.
I like how they totally dropped that plot point too. Well, they're all lobotomizing all the humans in order to make them slaves, and then the rest of the game they don't say anything about it. It's like, well, that plot point just doesn't really matter
Does
anymore.
Gears of War have a plot?
It does. The locusts do stuff and you kill them.
Okay.
Then they do strange stuff and you kill some more.
And then they end up fighting their own kind because of something that happens with some
Or
fluid.
something or other. And then you go underground and you kill some more.
Okay.
They were
So-
fun games, though. I love
Yeah,
them.
they are very entertaining.
Very fun games.
I could
Awesome
I,
for
I,
multiplayer. And
I could
really
I
look
couldn't
forward
play
to the
I couldn't
4
play
versus
Gears of War to
three.
save my life. I play I borrowed Angry John's copy, and I couldn't play that game at all.
You got
some
you gotta learn
practice.
to use cover system.
I didn't like it when I first started because I'm such an FPSer on the PC side. But
Yes,
I
it is
played it
very
for an
much
hour
not
and I
a-
got used to it. And once you get used to the controls, it actually is probably the easiest FPS to play on a console.
Well, it's the
It's
you gotta
very
get,
well designed.
you got it's different than an FPS in the sense that you can't FPSs they reward you for doing things quickly. Gears of War rewards
It's a
you
little
for
more
doing
strategic,
things very tactically smart.
And staying alive.
Yeah. So
And
you have to, a
being
lot of
part of
times
the
you have to
team.
wait and see what things are what is happening, and then you act. You can't just if you rush in anything, the locusts are going to tear you apart.
But it's
Because-
cool they offer those little things too, like you can point at a spot and then just cover fire from behind cover.
Yeah.
Totally random things that you would probably really do in a firefight. I mean, it gives you that. It's a little more realistic that way.
Well, as
And
realistic
it does
as
reward
Gears of
you
War
for
can
staying
be.
alive for sure. Yeah.
Not as realistic as Full Spectrum Warrior, which they desperately need to make a new one of.
I see.
Yes, I want to see another Ghost Recon too that was like the original, but the new one looks pretty cool too.
Well, you'll actually get a new Ghost Recon at some point in the future. You will probably never see another Full Spectrum Warrior.
Yeah, there actually is a new Ghost Recon coming out. I think end of this year. It looks really good though. So we'll see.
And well, for me, there isn't really anything that I'm looking forward to. I think Metroid Other M is like the next game on my list. Which,
I would like to see,
Rihanna Rogue finally come out. Sorry.
I would like to see Jumpgate Evolution come up, but I'm not holding my breath.
Well, you could draw a comic on that.
I don't. It's just sad now. It's not even funny anymore. It's just sad.
you can
Happy
put that up-
clown to sad clown.
It's like what was that Garriott game? That
Oh,
came out,
What, Tabula Rasa?
Tabula Rasa. It's like watching Tabula Rasa, where like it changed genres in the middle of the development cycle. It's like it was a fantasy art FPS, and they're like, nope, it's a future FPS now.
Yep. And now there's nothing.
Now there's nothing. But they were so scared of him, of Lord British, they had to wait for him to be off the planet before they canceled it, before they shut it down. They literally shut down the servers
That was
when he
pretty
was in
funny.
orbit.
Yeah, I remember that. Because there was a lot of war.
So
about
when's
that.
when are
Oh,
they
look at
doing?
that, he's up in the air, and look what just died.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Ultima Online 2 is going to be coming out soon, right? Yeah. That's about this
I don't know what Garriot's doing these days. He's working on something.
getting his money back.
Next trip into space.
I think he blew his load on the first one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So anything else?
That was a wad of cash.
So anything else we want to add? Do we want to discuss what we want to do for the Photoshop for the podcast, or?
Well, we never know until you do it there. Buddy.
Well, that's true. But I have to extract something from the podcast itself that will materialize something in my brain that will cause me to do some sort
Before
of
you do this extraction, do we have to drink some sort of warm liquid that cleans out our system before you do it?
Well, only if you really want to.
I should do a picture of Hitman's face and say, like a milk carton. Have you seen this man?
I've already done a Hitman
Should
one.
be Huxley, and it says, "Have you seen this game?"
I've already done a Huxley one.
And you do a Jumpgate Evolution. Have you seen this game?
Yeah.
It works for so many games.
This person missing, Mr. Jumpgate Evolution.
Yeah.
Last seen down the block was kidnapped by Ice Cream Man. All right, well, that's it for Diehard.
Kidnapped by David Lee Roth.
That's actually believable. I don't get it, but it's
Because
certainly believable.
he's the ice cream man. Stop him as he's passing by.
Stop me
Okay.
if I'm passing by.
You're talking to the person who didn't listen to a lot of classic rock, so any of this is going to just go over
Sadly,
my
it
head.
is classic rock now. It wasn't classic rock when it came out, though, buddy.
Yeah.
It was hair metal when it came out.
Okay. Does he still have hair?
I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go.
Yeah, I know. Does he
People
still have hair,
seem
though?
to find me.
All right. We can't afford to pay all these songs now.
Because I'm
All right.
so sad and lonely. Sad and lonely.
So that's it for Die Hard Gamer Radio. Join us next time for our review
David
of
Lee Roth episode. There's your Photoshop.
Yeah.
Episode 093. David
Diver
Lee.
Down.
It's
David-
it's a reunion episode. We're gonna get Nice John back for one last show.
Yeah.
Before what?
Before
He dies?
Yeah, I don't know. Before one of them, before Eddie Van Halen gets mad and kicks him out again.
Thank you for listening to Die Hard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.